Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We're following breaking news right now. I 93 closed in Franconia. Crash shuts down I 93 in Franconia. Northbound lanes of Interstate 93 in Franconia were shut down Wednesday at exit 35 after a serious crash. There were few details released about the crash. State police and Department of Transportation officials did not say how long the interstate would remain closed. The crash is under investigation, officials said. News 9 has a crew on the way to the scene. This is a breaking news story. It will be updated as more information comes into the newsroom. MLB explains incident involving Astros employee at Fenway. Major League Baseball said it has completed a thorough investigation of an incident involving a Houston Astros employee during Game 1 of the American League Champion Series at Fenway Park and a previous incident reported by the Cleveland Indians. According to reports, a man claiming to be an Astros employee was removed by security personnel from the media credential area next to the Boston Red Sox dugout during the third inning of the game Saturday night. One report written by Danny Picard sorry about that, everyone. I have allergies that are bugging me. And published in Metro Boston said the man had a small camera and was texting frequently, but did not have a media credential. News of the allegation began to surface Tuesday night. The league quickly promised to handle it initially. The Boston Globe, citing an industry source, said the Astros employee went into the first base photo wall to monitor the Red Sox dugout in what was described as a spy versus spy mission to see if the Red Sox were using video monitors to steal signs from the Astros. The league said that the incident included that the Astros employee was there in an attempt to monitor the Red Sox, not for the purpose of cheating, but to look for signs that the Boston was violating legal rules. All playoff teams were instructed to refrain from these types of operations in the future, the league said. After Tuesday's game, Red Sox manager Alex Cora said he had just heard about the incident. He said he didn't have any indication that the Astros have stolen signs during the series, but said he's always cautious and his team changes signs frequently. The Astros employee, according to the Globe source, was not believed to have gleaned a competitive advantage. So far, Astros have declined to comment, but manager AJ Hitchen told Houston Chronicle, "I'm aware of something going on, but I haven't been briefed on it." And here's the complete statement from MLB. And take a look. And there you go on that report. Golden Polu clash during 2nd Congressional District debate. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Paul Merrill.
Shed Happens, Maine's premier manufacturer of wood and vinyl storage sheds. Visit our showrooms and see the high...
Bruce Poliquin was so relentless in his attacks on Jared Golden that Golden refused to shake the congressman's hand after the debate had ended. The two clash fiercely over the issue of guns.
Jared has a D rating with the NRA, a D rating with the gun owners in Maine.
Corporate tax rate. Golden, a Marine veteran, says those dismal grades are because he voted in the state legislature for a bill that would try to keep guns out of the hands of perpetrators of domestic violence.
I've taken many pro Second Amendment votes in my time in the legislature. And again, I took a strong stand against domestic violence. I'm not going to back down from that one bit.
Government can make it.
Golden points out that Poliquin has repeatedly voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Poliquin says he's working on improving the nation's health care laws. He repeatedly equates his opponent with left-wing liberals.
If Jared Golden is able to fool enough people in the 2nd District, along with Nancy Pelosi's money and this other dark money, and he starts representing the 2nd District, everybody needs to know you'll have a San Francisco radical liberal that will be representing you in Congress.
Those are the words of a man who is desperate. He knows he's losing this race. That's all there is to it. I've said repeatedly, I don't support Nancy Pelosi for leader. I don't support her agenda. I have a record of fighting for middle-class tax cuts in the legislature. I'm going to stick to the truth on my record and let the congressman continue to push these lies he's spinning like politicians do.
The dark money does go both ways. Poliquin is benefiting from ads that are being paid for by House Speaker Paul Ryan's super PAC. That super PAC even has an office in Maine. It's in Bangor. Now, 2 years ago, this was the most expensive congressional race. 2 years ago's election was the most expensive congressional race up here ever, $15 million, and this year will top that record, be another record-breaking year. We should point out the job only pays $174,000 annually. Live in Presque Isle, Paul Merrill, WMTW News 8.
Paul. Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And let's take a look at that U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. Sorry about that. Jumping ahead there. And here's a look at your stock market. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in, the red went down. Your Nasdaq closed in, the red went down. S&P 500 closed in, the red went down. Gold closed in, the red went down. Oil closed in, the red went down. U.S. 10-year closed in, the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in, the red and went down. And VX closed in, the red and went down. Dow falls in volatile session after Fed's hits at more rate hikes ahead. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell Wednesday in volatile trading after a summary of the Federal Reserve's most recent meeting showed the central bank was leaning toward more rate hikes moving forward. Questions remain in disappearance search for missing endangered girl. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Every child needs clothing to wear, and we discovered we can really help people with disabilities just by doing a few things differently with our Cat and Jack clothing. The really great part about working on this type of product is meeting the families.
I just hugged her. I just had to hug her and tell her how important this is. Thanks to the Cat and Jack adaptive line, Bentley just gets to be a kid for once.
Now to that nationwide search for a missing 13-year-old whose parents were found dead in their Wisconsin home. Hundreds of tips are pouring in. ABC's Alex Perez is in Barron, Wisconsin with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Authorities say in a mysterious disappearance like this, every second counts. They have about 150 law enforcement members working this case around the clock.
This morning, the search for 13-year-old Jamie Kloss intensifying. The FBI and local investigators now looking into more than 200 tips to try and locate the missing teen.
We are running a 24/7 operation, a 24-center command post. We have teams ready to respond at a moment's notice when a tip comes in.
Authorities say leads have been pouring in from across the country, including someone who said they spotted the 13-year-old in this vehicle with two men nearly 2,000 miles away in Miami. Officials now saying that sighting is not credible. Jamie was last seen at a family gathering Sunday. Hours later, at about 1 a.m. Monday, a puzzling call from inside Jamie's home to 911.
Did it sound like somebody needed help? Did it sound like there was danger? What made the red flags go off?
Well, any 911 call across the nation, law enforcement follows up on. There was some kind of a commotion on that tape, and so we went and responded as we normally do to any 911 call, and that's when we discovered two deceased people when we arrived on scene.
When police responded to their house in rural Wisconsin, Jamie's parents found dead inside. The teenager vanished. Investigators revealing few details about the crime scene, but saying they recovered bullet casings inside. Jamie's emotional family this morning holding on to hope she will soon be back home.
Tell us a little bit about her and why you want people to care about what's going on.
Jamie's the sweetest little girl. She wouldn't hurt a soul.
And authorities say they've interviewed Jamie's classmates and her friends. They're hoping someone will hold that key piece of information that will help them crack this case. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Alex.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. Good night, everyone. Bye.